Good day, everyone. This is Pilot Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft,
Hey
Dracula.
now, everybody. How's it going?
Hello there, Drac. How are things going over in Barovia?
Crappy. A couple other adjectives I could throw in there, but
All right. Those were ravens are giving you trouble again.
everything's giving me trouble right now. Everything.
Everything. Well then, let's see if we could find some good news in there. At least we can say that your attempt to reach level cap is not going to be hindered by another level cap increase.
Well, okay, that's a good spin to make it positive on this. I like what you did there. Yeah, over on the forums, Coco Majobo, who of course is the associate producer, did make a post that says the level cap increase that they have talked about has been postponed.
Postpone.
Coco Mojobo says, for over a year now, we've been planning for and working towards a level cap increase to coincide with the release of the Feywild expansion. We believe this is a necessity for the future health of the game and have been very careful to make sure it is done in the best way possible. We built in a lengthy lead up time to allow us to iterate both internally and with the Players' Council. However, what was accounted for was the possibility of a global crisis. I don't know if I'd quite go that far, but okay. As a result, we have come to the conclusion that we could push through and finish implementing the level cap increase and all of the changes related to it, such as the highly rumored Epic Destiny revamp, to make sure they fit in for the new build ecosystem by the end of the year. We don't want to rush forward with such widespread important changes without time to iterate and make sure we get it right. So in summary, both the level cap increase and the Epic Destiny revamp are no longer planned to be released in conjunction with the Feywild expansion. Instead, these features are tentatively planned to be completed in 2021, subject to change. We understand if some are disappointed, we are as well, but we hope you will understand the need to get the changes of this type right and not to rush them out the door.
All right.
So, no level cap increase, no Epic Destiny revamp.
I would presume then that's probably the ones that are concerned with this are the ones who actually do a great deal of stuff in the upper 20s. They're the ones who are going to be
Right.
most
This is
affected
going
by this.
to affect, yeah, people at Endgame. I would say this is going to affect more so than just your casual player. Because if you were at, level cap now, you're probably looking forward, hey, I got some new content to run, new level cap, new Epic Destiny stuff. This is going to be great. I'm going to get all this new stuff. Well, now you're going to have to wait. I was kind of on the fence about the whole level cap increase anyway. I mean, I understand with expansions, it usually comes level cap increase. So it's not like I was opposed to it. So I'm okay with this. As I said, I don't even have a level 30 yet. So I'm totally cool with this. But like I said, some people are rightly upset, and that's fine. But, hopefully this is a good thing for the health of the game, and they will take some more time to get this right and to get the Epic Destiny revamp right, and it'll be better for this. So we can look at it that way.
Yes. Thus, in summary, no level cap increase for now. They hope to have it in 2021, which everyone hopes in every way would be a better year than this year.
It can't be any worse, can it? I mean, it
I
could.
hope there is.
I mean, it could, but let's hope it's better.
Yeah, we are going to have to hope that this isn't going to be one of those cases where, are you sure?
Right. Right.
let's then head into the DDO Chronicle, where it looks like someone wields a mighty axe.
And killed a bunch of people, it looks like. Yeah, that was actually the hardcore. That's been kind of the hardcore picture they've been using. And the reason why this was the Chronicle cover was because Hardcore League ended. September 22nd was the last day for Hardcore Season 3. So I hope you all enjoyed your time on Hardcore.
Now, isn't that axe seems to be... it doesn't seem to be quite a pole axe, but it seems to be too big for a battle axe, but too small for a pole axe.
Yeah, it's kind of an... I'm assuming that is an axe in the game. I've never actually seen it in the game.
Okay.
Of course, I don't use axes, but... podcast at ddoplayers.com if you know what the name of that axe is, because it is a cool looking axe. I might even create an axe wielding character just to use that axe, because it's pretty awesome looking. So as we said, season 3 of Hardcore is now wrapped up. Stay tuned for news about season 4, when and where. Well, we know where, but we just don't know when. So
okay.
Stay tuned for that.
That'll probably be after Feywild, I would guess.
I would assume so. Slash really, really hope so. I hope they don't rush another Hardcore in before Feywild, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think season 3 was just rushed because they wanted to get it in during to give us something to do during Feywild, while waiting for Feywild or something like that.
I kind of think you are correct on that.
Yeah.
So we'll see, though. We haven't talked about the Guild Hall lately. We got a Guild Hall this week. It is the Wolf Pack. It is a Sarlona, I can talk, really I can, based guild that helps its members reach their goals. Click over and check out their website, and click here to read more in the forums on how you can get recruited into this guild if you run on Sarlona. In our fan site news section this week, DDO Cast is building a tank. We give money to quiet people in our episode last week. See what you did there, Quarterman. See what you did there. Damsels of DDO are recording their gaming for their 131st episode. Sorry, I almost said 13th episode. 131st episode of the Damsels. Don't forget about DDO Stream. Lots of people streaming over on the official DDO Twitch channel. DDO PL is getting a cruel device. D&D night on D&D stream. I screw that up every time. I'm in like a gabillion shows that are on that channel, and I screw the name up every dang time. D&D night on DDO stream. I don't know why it's that hard. Runs through Stormreach via the tabletop, and Doug Glendower is getting retro. Elsewhere on Twitch, lots of other people are streaming DDO as well. Newbie Carabra is fighting famine, fear, and plague. Earthstar DDO is running Reaper 10, and Noel Day approaches Completionist. YouTube, also, you can see lots of DDO content. Father and Son Gaming does a Let's Play. Kashab Muddles and Valgar Avelwin. Okay, I just butchered that, but it's cool. Provides a walkthrough for the Zorian Cipher. Check all that content out either on Twitch or YouTube. I know I've said this before, but it is amazing to see all of the great content people are putting out on Twitch and DDO, or Twitch and YouTube about DDO. I need to quit talking because apparently English is hard for me today. Mickey, of course, is chronicling her rating as well. We have a Chronicle comment. What food needs to be available in the tavern?
What food needs to be available in taverns?
There's a lot of choices to choose from already, but what's missing in the DDO taverns?
Let's see.
While you're thinking of your answer,
Yeah.
I say mozzarella sticks. What good tavern doesn't have a good mozzarella stick?
A good mozzarella stick.
It's one of the world's greatest appetizers, finally. DDO needs mozzarella sticks.
DDO,
I mean, what's not to love about a mozzarella stick? It's deep fried mozzarella cheese. What more could you ask for?
So are we going to get real, genuine mozzarella cheese for that.
Sure, why not? I'm sure somebody could come up with how to get mozzarella in DDO. Why not? Get the gnomes on it. They're known for their cheese.
Yeah, I'm just thinking where you're going to get the buffalo milk in Eberron, but
Very carefully, Pine Leaf. Very
very
carefully.
All right, all right. I was at first going to.
I think I broke Pine Leaf, actually.
Yeah, yes. I was going to say, but we already have broccoli. But then I remember this broccoli juice that we have. We don't actually have a broccoli dish.
Well, that's true. We do have broccoli juice.
So, I mean, with that, we're complete, aren't we?
I mean, no, we don't have mozzarella sticks.
Okay. How about popcorn?
Okay, sure. Why not? I mean, it's no mozzarella stick, but sure, popcorn's not bad.
Mozzarella sticks.
I love a good, I'm telling you, I love a good mozzarella stick, Pilot. There is nothing better than a good, gooey mozzarella stick that you just dip down in like a bunch of like marinara sauce. It's nothing better than that. The nice cold beer on the side, it's heaven, Pine Leaf. It's heaven.
Yeah, it's heaven. What's in the screenshot of the week?
Apparently, Pine Leaf is a mozzarella stick hater. It's fine. It's okay. We'll just move on because you don't know the love of the mozzarella, but that's fine. It's okay. The Arcane Enclave is grabbing a moment of peace before a new battle begins, and that is in the 481st DDO screenshot of the week, and that is thanks to Lawless. Once again, if you're new to the show, I butcher names. That's my part of the show. We have names in the Chronicle. I butcher them. You're welcome. If I butcher your name, sorry, but you're also welcome.
Let's then head into the site news for tabletop news. In fact, where it appears that we finally got the official announcement on what's going on with Avalon Hill. Well, we maybe not details of what's going on in Avalon Hill, but we know what their next project is going to be, and it is probably a shock to absolutely no one.
It's like, what? What? HeroQuest? No, it's not HeroQuest. Yeah. I mean, if they wanted to, like, kind of build up some suspense on this, probably shouldn't have just put the old countdown with HeroQuest in the title of it. It kind of gave it away a little bit. But it's finally official. Yes, Hasbro is bringing back HeroQuest. I have thoughts on this. We'll talk about that in a second, though.
Yes. Now, I get the impression that not much information on gameplay has been released, which means that everybody is assuming that it's going to play exactly as the original game, or
from what everybody can tell, me included, this is a straight reprint of the original HeroQuest with a few changes, which we'll talk about here in a second.
Okay.
And of course, updated miniatures. Other than that, gameplay is going to be the same. At least that's what we know so far. Because as you said, right, they haven't released anything about gameplay.
Yeah, and it's based on what they say here. It's pretty much guarantee that they are not doing a French translation.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment too. There's a lot to talk about. Okay. But to start out with, this is not just, hey, go on this website and order it. Well, it kind of is. See, that's what's weird about this. This whole thing is kind of weird. I completely forgot. If I would have remembered this was a thing, I would have guessed this is how they were going to do it. But Hasbro has their own crowdfunding platform. They tend to do like a lot of specialty toys or one-off toys, and they're usually very niche and very, very specialty. And they usually do those on their HasLab site, which is basically Kickstarter, but it's just Hasbro. It's Hasbro's own version of crowdfunding. Parentheses, most people call crowdfunding Kickstarter, but there's other crowdfunders. But for lack of a better term, we'll say HasLab is their own Kickstarter. So they're kickstarting this game. The thing about HasLab, though, is whatever the goal for the project is, if it doesn't meet that goal, whatever it is does not get made. The goal for this was $1 million, which they have surpassed. So HeroQuest officially coming back. It's going to be made. There are two options that you have to choose from over on the HasLab site. There is the heroic tier and the mythic tier. The $99.99 heroic tier is going to get you the base version of HeroQuest, 71 miniatures, a game board, and a Game Master screen. Also comes with 6 engraved dice, 90 cards. All this is upgraded from the original. The miniatures are like modern miniatures. They haven't said what they're made out of. From what the pictures look like, they look like they're going to be some type of plastic.
Well, that'd be most likely, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So I will see. They look really good from the renders. So that's the $99 tier. But then you can go with the mythic tier, which includes everything that I just talked about. The mythic tier is $149.99. It's going to have the above that we talked about, plus you're going to get the 2 expansions, Kellar's Keep and Return of the Witch Lord. So you'll get 2 expansions, which each expansions are going to have more miniatures. Of course, they have different monsters to fight, etc., because they were expansions, which these are, from what we can tell, direct reprints of the original Kellar's Keep and Return of the Witch Lord for the original HeroQuest. As we said, so far, everything is looking like this is just a straight reprint. No gameplay changes have been made. They're just reprinting HeroQuest, and they're updating the look of it. Other than the board, they're keeping the game board the same, which I'm happy about because that game board is classic. But the miniatures and the dice and the cards are all, of course, updated because things have changed since '99 when HeroQuest came out. Of course, since this is a crowdfunding campaign, there are, well, they don't call them stretch goals. They call them unlocks, but they're basically stretch goals that you can unlock. So far, from where they stand right now as we record this, it's 1.5 million. There's going to be a gender-swapped Warlock figure, and then there's going to be 6 additional combat dice as well. The next thing to go...
Oh, hold on. They're at 1.15, not 1.5 right now.
Oh, I thought it was 1.5, but I looked. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. So they haven't unlocked anything yet. I swear I looked at that earlier and they were at 1.5, but apparently I can't speak and I can't see either, but that's okay. So then at 1.6 million, you're going to get 2 extra skeletons, 1.8, 2 extra goblins. And if they hit 2 million, it's going to include a special quest book called The Prophecy of Teller. And that is written by Stephen Baker, who originally designed HeroQuest. But to gameplay, as we said, looks like everything's going to be the same. So far, they haven't announced anything. And from what everybody can just gather with all the bits and pieces we've got off of the HasLab site, gameplay is going to be the same. The only things they are changing is there's a bit of the lore that has been kind of adjusted a little bit. In the original HeroQuest, the magic of the world was called Chaos Magic. Now that is called Dread Magic. And if you remember the original HeroQuest, there was a monster you fought, called the Femur. That was a kind of little one-eyed monster. If you're familiar with the Femur, that comes directly from Game Workshop's Warhammer Fantasy Universe. And of course, Games Workshop has nothing to do with this new version, so they can't use the femurs anymore. So now they've been replaced with a bipedal fish creature, is the best way to describe him.
Bipedal fish creature?
He looks something like straight out of Cthulhu mythos. I mean, he's really Cthulhu-ish looking, but that's the new femur. So that's all we know. Friday, September the 25th, Hasbro is actually holding their own convention. Of course, it's going to be virtual because 2020. Originally, it wasn't supposed to be virtual, but it's virtual. And they are going to talk more about the game. There's going to be a panel on the new HeroQuest. So we're hoping that we'll get more information and if they've actually changed gameplay. But so far, it's not looking like that. You do have 45 days to jump in on this if you would like to do this. They did say there is eventually, in quotation marks, going to be a retail version of this. But a lot of the stuff that there's going to be, each character is actually going to have a female version that you can play. That is exclusive to the HasLab backers. And then there is also another figure that is going to be exclusive to this as well. If you're familiar with the original game, he was in the original game. So if you want him, and of course Sir Ragnar, I was going to say, I'm drawing a blank on his name. He is limited or exclusive to HasLab as well. So if this does come out in retail, which they say eventually it will, you're not going to get a lot of the extras. So it's kind of like what happens on Kickstarter. When games come on Kickstarter, you get exclusive Kickstarter stuff. And then when the retail comes out, you're just SOL because you didn't back it on Kickstarter. So that's all we know. Like I said, Friday, they're going to talk more. Hopefully we'll know about more. But the miniatures look really good.
Right. But you said in that list of what's included, a GM screen, which means that they're not changing that aspect
right.
of the game.
I was totally wrong. I figured for sure they were going to have an app, so you didn't actually need a GM player. But nope, as we said, so far it looks like this is straight reprint of HeroQuest. So one player is going to have to be the GM. The 4 other players will be going against the GM. So I was wrong, which, let's face it, I've been wrong on the show before, so hey, my streak continues.
Right. So no pure co-op mode.
No, unless somebody can house rule one and make one. Yeah, so basically this is going to be 1 versus 4. And if it's like the original HeroQuest, if you have less than 4 people, the other people are going to have to run more than 4 characters because it's designed to run with 4 players.
Oh, it doesn't scale at all.
No, it does not scale at all. It is 1 GM versus 4 players.
They haven't learned a thing from games like Gloomhaven and Descent.
That's why I cannot believe they're not changing this and updating this. This looks like a straight on reprint of HeroQuest. I mean, which is cool because HeroQuest, it's great to have this back and to be affordable, because if you've gone on eBay to look on the secondhand market to see what people are charging for the original HeroQuest, it's insane. So I'm glad people are going to get HeroQuest again. I'm glad they're getting new miniatures. There's the whole nostalgia thing about the other miniatures and everything, which I get, but this is just awesome. But awesome with an asterisk.
Awesome with an asterisk.
Yes. I hope you live in the United States or in Canada.
But not in Quebec.
And not in Quebec, if you're in Canada. Because this is United States and Canada, not Quebec only.
Right.
Which I think the reason for that is it's a rights issue. I think there's probably a rights issue with more than likely Games Workshop, would be my guess.
That would explain the UK, because the UK Games Workshop probably has the rights.
That's what my guess is on the reason.
Yeah.
Hasbro has not said. People have repeatedly asked them on Reddit, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, you name the social media, people have asked. They are not saying anything about it. My best guess is it's a rights issue. That's why it is only America and Canada. I don't get the whole Quebec thing, though. That's kind of weird.
Well, that's why I made the joke about them not writing a French translation.
Right, exactly.
Because I know that there is a law in Quebec that you're not supposed to sell anything there unless it supports French.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe that. Yeah, I don't know. But that, like I said, this is a guess. That's why I'm guessing it's America only.
Right.
People not happy about this on the internet. The internet kind of blew up when this came up because people in like the UK and everything went on the website and tried to order, and then they were like, "Oh, we're sorry. We see that you're in, England. You can't order this." And they were like, "What?"
I would say Games Workshop because
that's my best guess. But like I said, I don't know. I've reached out to PR. I haven't heard back. Haven't heard back from the first time I reached out to PR, so probably won't hear back about this, but we'll see. Another thing people are kind of up in arms about is apparently if you're in Canada, the shipping to Canada is $130.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
So that's what people want to know. People are saying, why does it cost so much to ship to Canada?
130?
I can tell you.
What's the shipping to the United States?
It was $30 for me, at least. I don't know if it's based upon your physical address and where you're at in the United States, so it may be more or less for some people. But mine, particularly, when I quote unquote bought this, backed it, whatever you want to say, I did. It was $30 to ship. For shipping. But yes, I've seen it multiple times on various social medias. Canada's shipping is showing as $130.
$130.
Which seems insane to me.
All right. Yeah, but even if that's in Canadian dollars, that's still a lot.
Right. Oh, that's crazy. And they didn't actually say if it was in, I am assuming it was in Canadian. Well, no, because HasLab, I think that's American, actually.
Well, yes, but
they would have to. I don't know. Anyway, all I've seen Canada. I've seen at least 20 people from Canada on different various social medias say, "Why the hell are you charging me $130 to ship this?" So I don't know. Yeah. Hasbro has some explaining to do.
I do remember that there was we're talking about completely different levels here, but I remember back in the old days, this was actually an article in the General magazine, which, strangely enough, Avalon Hill back in the day when they were an independent company.
So I was about to say, is that not an Avalon Hill thing? But okay.
Yes. Where they were talking about their shipping rates to Canada, and they were noting that the shipping rate, how much it cost them to ship something, skyrockets as soon as they cross that Canadian border, because they were saying, for example, how much they had to pay for shipping between someone who is in Buffalo and someone who's in Niagara Falls is dramatically different.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
And so, but 130 sounds like even extreme for for that case.
If we have, which I know, judging from the stats I can see, we do have people in Canada that listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Both the downloaded version and the YouTube version. So if you're in Canada and you hear my voice right now, send an email to podcast@ddoplayers.com and just let us know, if you order something else from the United States, what roughly is shipping for, like a game. Of course, we don't know how much this weighs. A lot of people are saying 15 pounds, which I think is way heavier than this is going to be. That's what a lot of people were speculating just from all the stuff you get. But just if you order, judge it by a board game from the United States, how much does it usually cost to ship to Canada? Because I know it's nowhere near $130.
Well, if anyone there ever ordered a game like Too Many Bones or Hoplomachus,
there you go.
And the reason is Chip 3 Games has a reputation for heavy games, and I mean
Right.
physically heavy.
Or even if you're in Canada and you order Gloomhaven,
Yeah.
which is a
Yeah,
extreme
or
because
Gloomhaven will
Gloomhaven's
also fit in that
freaking
picture.
heavy. But just let us know what you paid to ship it to Canada because I'm curious. Because there's no way it's going to cost $130 to ship
Now,
this thing.
Gloomhaven these days might be purchasable from a store or something like that in Canada. So
But I mean, I kind of thought $30 for the U.S. shipping was a bit high.
yeah, that does sound a bit high for
Because
that.
I was really shocked when I got to the shipping part and it was like $30, and I'm like, what? But
Now, one of the items is that there might be unpredictability built into that because shipping rates have been very volatile recently.
well, that is true.
In,
So
in fact, there are some Kickstarters that are waiting to charge for shipping until the very last minute because
yeah,
usually they
I've had a
open up the
couple.
pledge manager soon after the Kickstarter, but they're waiting until the very end nearing shipping time because they have no idea how much it's going to cost to ship the game.
Yep, I've had a couple of the Kickstarters that I backed that have said, yeah, we're not opening the pledge menu yet. We're waiting, and the reason shipping. So,
Shipping, yes,
but
shipping because right now shipping is very volatile, and I would say until certain global crises are resolved, that's going to remain the case.
but overall, I like the miniatures. If you and my friend pointed this out too, and I thought the same thing the first time I saw it. The Goblin monster minis for these look very, very much like Pathfinder goblins. So if you know what the Pathfinder goblin looks like, that's the goblins you're getting. I do want to point out that one of the orc miniatures you're getting, it's a female orc, which I thought was kind of cool. I love the way the mummy looks. And then, of course, like I said, the abomination, which is what the new femur is, it's a fish man. Don't know why they went with the fish man motif, but they look kind of good too. So I'm excited.
Maybe it's inspired by the Kuotoa.
It could be. I'm excited to get this whenever it is. That's the other thing. We don't know when this is going to release. There's no even hint of a release date. It was just like, if we get $1 million, we'll make this. If we don't, we won't. So we know it's going to be made. Who knows when we'll get it? But there you go. It's official. HeroQuest is back.
Well, it's not official until it's the end of the campaign,
Well,
and
that
they
is
confirmed
true.
that you didn't have half the backers unback or something like that. Or do they charge you immediately?
That's a good question. I'll have to look at my credit card. I didn't even check that.
Yeah, because I know that Kickstarter will not charge until the end of the campaign, but
Right.
Indiegogo charges you immediately, but
Right,
they're
yeah.
not as much as must finish as Kickstarter is.
Yeah, I'll have to look at my credit card and get back to see if they actually charged it or not. It didn't. They didn't really say anything about that.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Right here, it says, I agree to the terms and service and the shipping and return policy. I hereby authorize Hasbro to charge my payment method for the above amount on November 6th, 2020 for the amount I had pledged.
Answers that question.
So there you go. You will not get charged until it ships. So yeah, technically people could pull out in 44 days. People could say, yeah, I'm not into this anymore. And they could drop under the $1 million. And then I would assume they wouldn't make it.
Yes, but I have feeling some of it may come out based on what happens on whatever they say on Friday.
Right, exactly.
And that's all we know so far. And I have a feeling that maybe next week we'll have some more information, perhaps something that could attract people who aren't interested in a game that requires 5 players.
Yeah, well, then again, they're going, a lot of this is just nostalgia and people
Right.
that don't want to pay the $300 to $400 for an original copy on eBay. They're going for that.
True.
So
Yes, you got a point there.
Nostalgia right in the feels is what this whole thing is about.
All right. Then let's head into our weekend gaming. where I heard that Drac is playing a new game called Chase the Tumbleweed.
Yeah, it's called What Did Pine Leaf Do in Gaming this week? Yeah, I didn't do anything. Not a thing.
uh,
Um,
okay.
to be totally honest, my poor gaming machine never even got. The last time it was turned on is the last time we played. So yeah,
Uh, you need to give it some love.
I do. I do. Hopefully, at least. Well, I know at least tomorrow night we're playing, so at least I'll have one thing to talk about. But I hope to get a little bit of gaming in, but I doubt I will because I'm going out of town this weekend. Well, but I will have some tabletop to talk about because I'm going out of town this weekend to play a bunch of tabletop games. So at least I'll have something to talk about next week. So yay!
Then let's into what I did, and we are going to begin with my next trip into the Borderlands, where I created a Dragonborn sorcerer, level 1, of course, and then headed into the Borderlands. I step out of the Borderlands, I walk a little while, and then suddenly I am surrounded by creatures that tear me apart.
Oops.
That is the fastest I think I've ever had a character die in DDO.
Wow.
First step out, whack!
That's horrible.
And I was like, okay, well, this looks like a character that's not going to be viable. But I said, all right, I will give it one more trip, and I'll make sure. I was thinking, well, maybe I should get a number of things for it first, but it turns out I didn't have much in the way of money because, of course, I think I had some pretty good die rolls on the daily dice. It's just that they were not the ones that give you money. Is that in fact, I think one of them was even jackpot, but it's like, okay, what if the level 1 character going to do with it, whatever you get for a gold jackpot? Especially when you're not going to be leveling up. So that was weird. But anyway, I went out there, instant death. So all right. I went there, made sure I was nice and ready again. Went out again. This time, paid attention to what was in the wilderness. Then ran the quests, started to get better, ran cage beasts, watch your step, and obstructing the orcs and all that without getting killed. And this was really strange, is I go through all this stuff and I don't get killed after that because I'm going into all those dungeons. Well, I'm not going to say absolutely no problems. There are a couple of times where I was knocked down pretty low, but I survived reasonably well all the way through there. I get to Violent Delights, and I was like, all right, let's see how I can do on this one, because you know how Violent Delights and me are, that boss fight. But the last time I had done it, I found what I thought was a reasonably good place to stand during that final fight without getting mobbed to death, and that worked, and I actually managed to survive that fight. And I got through that, then went to Total Chaos, and I completed the dungeon. There was one little problem, though, and that was that I killed the boss very quickly, and my character had a search skill that was abysmal.
Well, being a sorcerer, I could probably understand that.
Right. So I had a abysmal search skill, and I had killed the boss. The problem is that there are only two ways to get into the final treasure room in Total Chaos. One way is to successfully find the secret door. The second way is for the boss to open it while you're chasing the boss. I killed the boss before he found the secret door.
Dope.
So I didn't get the secret door, so I didn't get the final treasure chest. And that could have been a problem if the item I was finding, the whatever they call those pages that you're looking for in these, if the page were in that room, I would not have been able to finish the quest because that page is put at a random location inside the dungeon. And that's what you need in order to finish the codex page, yes. And I know that one of the codex page locations is in the treasure room. Fortunately, it was elsewhere, but that was very, very tricky in there, in that it could theoretically be possible to be it is theoretically possible to be unable to finish it if you kill the boss. Because remember, you still win it if the boss gets away.
Right.
But but of course, if you went that, but I always think it's nice because I think there's an optional being able to kill the boss before he gets away, and I like to test to see how good a character is by whether or not they could kill the boss. But if he opens up the treasure room, usually he's running so fast that he's likely to get away because he runs a lot fast and he starts healing and all sorts of stuff like that. So usually when I want kill him, I have to kill him quickly so that he doesn't have a chance to run and heal. Oh well. Fortunately, though, I was able to finish it. And I'm surprised I managed it, especially after that opener where I died instantly, that I managed to get through this entire thing without a hireling. Because a sorcerer, I couldn't get a barbarian through this without getting a hireling, but I could get a sorcerer through it without one. Boy, was I really bad at the beginning of the year. In Minecraft, I ran another Mage Rage map, and I also finished up the September MHC, where I went into the Nether with a futile search for a fortress. And finding a fortress was a key. It seems like everybody else who ran this challenge found a fortress quickly. I never could find one. That shows you my kind of abilities in finding fortresses. I sometimes think that whenever I'm in the area, fortresses like to take an invisibility potion so I can't find them. In other tabletop, I ran Castle Ravenloft, The Hunt for Strahd, Part 2, to finish up my series on doing all the adventures in Castle Ravenloft. Now, I actually ran this twice. The first time I ran it, Strahd, I didn't even get to Strahd there. I think it was 4 turns in, I believe, before, and I was killed in 4 turns. Might have been 6 turns, 4 or 6 turns, but extremely early in there. I was barely just getting started, but first search I had was a first exploration I did gave me a black triangle, which meant obviously I had to draw an encounter card. The encounter card was the alarm trap, which means that now I'll be getting a monster every other turn being summoned in by the alarm. And I was drawing whites and blazing skeletons, the worst monsters you could possibly get at the beginning of a Curse for Strahd scenario. So everything just went wrong very south very quickly, and I was just pummeled. Fastest death I think I ever had in a D&D Adventures game. Now, I decided, no, I can't leave that and say that I finished that I played every single adventure after not getting any progress in there and actually working with the mechanisms of the adventure. So I said, all right, let's do a try two. And this time along, things went significantly better. Now, I still got killed in the end, but I did manage to find Strahd's crypt. I got Strahd down to half health, which is tough to do considering that he likes to bite and heal himself through the bite, and survived many, many more turns. So I think that was a good try at it. I didn't survive, but that's a pretty tough adventure. And Strahd's pretty tough. I guess he's a boss.
Yeah, he is. That adventure is really, really tough.
Yeah, so you have to be a real expert at it, I think, in order to be able to succeed. And I don't know how often you've attempted it.
3 or 4 times, maybe. Not. I mean, not many considering, but
Yeah. And so I take it you haven't had any good luck with it either?
once.
Once you did?
Once I won. One time.
What did you do? Because now, the first time I did it, now one of my characters is a ranger, which is great for picking up the trash mobs. Now I'm trying to think, what do you do for heavy damage? Because I once tried the wizard in there before I found out that the wizard is pittance on damage. The cleric can do 2 damage against undead, which is useful considering the nature of the dungeon you're in.
Yeah, I wanted to say I had like a cleric and maybe a ranger, maybe.
Yeah, okay, cleric and ranger is the combination I
Maybe
did.
I think that's what I. It's like I said, it's been a while since I tried it.
So I don't know what you do in order to kill Strahd because I think the only reason why I did as well as I did is because he actually missed half the time.
I might have to try it again. It's been a long time since I tried that one.
Yeah, because that's a tough one. Maybe someday I'll revisit it, but for now, I think I'll let that rest. Other games I played were Pentaquark, where once again the Pentaquark eluded me. Then King Domino, where I played the Princess Dorothy solo variant and see how that did. It was my first time playing King Domino. Then Commands and Colors Ancients. And this time I tried the Battle of Acragas and Cremissos Rivers, 2 battles that were between the Syracusans and the Carthaginians. This was probably early in the days of the Carthaginians before they were a serious threat because they were trying to the sides were fighting against Sicily, and during that time the Carthaginians apparently were learning a lot of lessons on warfare. Probably the Syracusans were teaching them at least. Then Sagrada, and I played a round of Sagrada. Then on apps I played some Wingspan, and because we just had the release of the Wingspan app, and I was playing against the Easy AI to see how that works. Then I played some Race for the Galaxy. Well, perhaps a great deal of Race for the Galaxy. I had 2 plays against the medium AI, and then I had several plays against the hard AI. And then Onirim, a little round of Onirim to finish all that off. And that is my week in gaming. We currently have 14 supporters on Patreon, and if you'd like to help support DDO players, you can go to the donations page. You can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money will be used for our podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. And if you would like to just donate without going through Patreon, you could contact Drek at ddoplayers.com. And it appears that we have some featured comments this week where apparently someone decided to reply to the questions about HeroQuest.
We did. It's been a long time since we actually had a featured comment. We have 2 this week.
Ooh.
Somebody named Pineleaf, don't know who that is,
Yeah.
says, "What are the odds that they can get $1 million out of this?" Checks the page. Okay, apparently they've already done it, so I suppose the odds are pretty good.
Yeah.
But I'll admit, it did take them longer to do it than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, looks like it took them about a day, maybe.
Yeah, it was pretty close to almost 24 hours before the action, because I kept checking it, and I'm like, nope, still not there, still not there. But yeah, but they're past it now. And then Kirkos says, but no app.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that Drac dude just is stupid and doesn't know what he's talking about.
No app. Yeah. Well, actually, I think anyone with 2 bits of knowledge about modern gaming would have tried to find an app to fit or some other means of playing cooperatively to be in there.
Yeah, I'm just shocked that it's a straight reprint, but still excited nonetheless.
Yeah, because they didn't say anything about tactics cards for the enemies either, which could have been an alternate to having an app. And in fact, that's what Descent did before they had the app for Descent. I don't know if you remember that, but they had a couple of solo dungeons that they published, and it included these cards which could act as AIs, and you have through a procedurally generated dungeon that you would go through, and it'll give what each of the monsters do and stuff like that. And it looks like that what they did there helped to form the algorithms that they put into the app, because some of the stuff that was in the app seemed a little bit familiar after running through those. If you would like to email us, you could send that email to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You could also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, DDO Players @DDO Players, Dracula @Dracula_72, and Piney Needles. You could also follow Drac on Twitch @Draculetta_72. The Players Alliance has 3 shows on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have Lotro Players News. And if you would like to follow XP Quest, then follow @XP Quest on Twitter to learn when that show goes live. But please note that XP Quest is not Piney friendly. You can join us for our shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Pun Mules reminding you to socialize responsibly.